Hello everyone, welcome to History class. Today we are going to continue lesson 4 of history, the 18th century India. Earlier we had discussed about the important later Mughal rulers, reasons for decline of the Mughal empire, rise of the regional powers, and today the topic of the day is rise of Marathas and reasons for the decline of Marathas. The main objectives of today's topic are you will come to know about the formation of the Maratha Empire, rise of Peshwas and reason for the decline of Marathas. But before starting today's topic, let us recall definitions and cross questions related to the previous topics. Definitions: custom duties, provinces, Jagirdari system, Mansabdari system, and Jazia. Now answer these cross questions. Who introduced Mansabdari system? Who invaded India after Nadir Shah's death? Who was the founder of the kingdom of Awadh? Who was popularly known as Tiger of Mysore? Now let us discuss new words related to today's topic. Successor, a person that succeeds another. Peshwa, Prime Minister of the Maratha Empire in India during 18th century. Civil War, a war between different groups of people living in the same country. Pact, a formal agreement. Chauth, 1/4 of the land revenue collected by the Marathas from areas beyond their kingdom or empire. Sardeshmukhi, an additional 1/10 of the land revenue collected by the Marathas as a tribute. Maratha Confederacy, a part that dominated a large portion of the South India in 18th century. Now the topic is rise of Marathas. The Maratha kingdom was founded by Shivaji during the reign of Aurangzeb, and the Marathas created an empire which included a large part of central India. Now let us read from the book. The Marathas became very powerful by the middle of the 18th century. They created an empire which included a large part of central India. Their influence was observed in north, western and eastern parts of India for a short period. They, however, declined rapidly after the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761. Means the Maratha Empire included a large part of central India, but their influence was observed for a short period of time as they declined rapidly after the Third Battle of Panipat. The Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali invaded North India 5 times between AD 1748 and AD 1761. In 1761 AD, the Third Battle of Panipat was fought between the armies of Ahmad Shah Abdali and the Marathas, and it was fought in Panipat, that is in Haryana, and the Marathas were defeated in the battle. Formation of the Maratha Empire. The Marathas were minor chieftains of the kingdoms of Golconda, Bijapur and Ahmednagar. Minor chieftains means young rulers. Under the leadership of Shivaji, Marathas rose to become a powerful ruling class. The successors of Shivaji were weak. Later, Peshwas became the actual head of the Marathas in the 18th century. Means Shivaji had established a powerful Maratha kingdom, and under his leadership Marathas rose to become a powerful ruling class. But after the death of Shivaji, a war of succession broke out among the claimants to the throne. After the death of Shivaji, Peshwas lost their importance, but later on they became the actual head of Marathas. Rise of Peshwas. Peshwas were the prime ministers of the Maratha Empire in India during 18th century. The Peshwas were the prime ministers of Shivaji. They lost their importance after the death of Shivaji. Their position was revived during the reign of Shahu, who was the grandson of Shivaji. After the death of Shivaji, there were many conflicts amongst his successors for the throne. So, earlier the Peshwas or the prime ministers of Shivaji lost their importance just after the death of Shivaji, but their position was recovered during the rule of the grandson of Shivaji. Shahu was imprisoned by Aurangzeb but was released consequently after Aurangzeb's death. Means Shahu was taken as prisoner along with his mother in 1689 by Mughal Sardar, and just after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the leading Mughal courtiers released Shahu with a force of 50 men, thinking that a friendly Maratha leader would be a useful ally. After that, a civil war broke out between Shahu and Tarabai. Here, civil war means the war between different groups of people within the empire. Tarabai was wife of Shivaji's second son Rajaram, and there was a war of succession among the claimants to the throne after the death of Shivaji. And after the war, finally, Shahu, the grandson of Shivaji, was ascended to the throne. Balaji Vishwanath supported Shahu and helped him strengthen the throne of the Marathas. So, as gratitude, Shahu appointed Balaji Vishwanath Bhatt as his Peshwa. Gratitude means thankfulness. He was an able administrator, and Shahu left the entire work of the government in his hands. He subsequently became the real decision maker. So we can say that Balaji Vishwanath Bhatt was the first of a series of hereditary Peshwas hailing from the Bhatt family who gained effective control of the Maratha Empire during the 18th century. And Balaji Vishwanath assisted a young Maratha Emperor Shahu to consolidate his grip on a kingdom that had been wrecked by civil war, and in return Shahu made Balaji the Peshwa or the Prime Minister of Maratha Kingdom in 1713. As Balaji Vishwanath became the real decision maker, so he was called the second founder of the Maratha state. Balaji Vishwanath successfully controlled the Maratha chiefs. He signed a pact with the Syed brothers. Pact means a formal agreement. The pact restored all territories of Shivaji to Shahu. Restored means brought back, which were captured by the Mughals. They also got the right to collect Chauth and Sardeshmukhi of 6 Mughal provinces in Deccan. Chauth means 1/4 of the land revenue collected by the Marathas from the areas beyond their empire or kingdom, and Sardeshmukhi was an additional 1/10 of the land revenue that was collected by Marathas as a tribute. Basically, a formal agreement was made between Balaji Vishwanath and Syed brothers. Balaji Vishwanath concluded an agreement with the Syed brothers by which the Mughal Emperor Farrukh Shiar recognized Shahu as the king of Shivaji's home dominance and released all his family members and allowed him to collect taxes like Chauth and Sardeshmukhi from the 6 Mughal provinces in the southern part of India. And according to that pact, in return, Shahu had to maintain 15,000 horses for the Mughal services. Hence, Balaji Vishwanath regained the lost prestige and power of the Marathas. Prestige means respect. They once again became a dominant power in the Deccan under Balaji Vishwanath. So, we can say that Balaji Vishwanath took advantage of the decline of the Mughal Empire after the death of Aurangzeb, and he restored all the territories of Marathas which were captured by Mughals after the death of Shivaji, and this greatly enhanced the power and prestige of Marathas. Now let us read and discuss about Bajirao I. Bajirao I became the Peshwa after the death of his father Balaji Vishwanath in 1720. He was an excellent general, means Bajirao I was succeeded by Balaji Vishwanath, and he was a great military statesman. He led several successful campaigns into the Mughals and other regional powers. He further expanded his empire. Empire means kingdom. He conquered Malwa, parts of Bundelkhand and southern Gujarat. Malwa lies in some parts of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, and Bundelkhand is a hilly region that is divided between Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Secondly, he collected taxes from some of the territories of Deccan after defeating the Nizam of Hyderabad. Means after defeating the Nizam of Hyderabad, Bajirao I started collecting the taxes like Chauth and Sardeshmukhi from some of the territories of the southern India. And then he acquired Salsette and Bisain after defeating Portuguese. Salsette is an island in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and Bisain is in Maharashtra. At that time, the Portuguese had captured several territories on the west coast of India. They had violated an agreement to give the Marathas a site on Salsette Island for building a factory and had been practicing religious intolerance against Hindus in their territory. So, Peshwa dispatched a Maratha force against them, and Marathas captured Bisain, and then they also managed to gain control of Salsette after a prolonged siege. However, the Marathas had to turn their attention away from the Portuguese due to Nader Shah's invasion of the Mughal Empire in North India. He was called the Fighting Peshwa. He spent most of his time fighting battles. Bajirao I was also known as the Fighting Peshwa because he spent most of his time in fighting the battles for expanding and consolidating the Maratha Empire. Bajirao I organized the Maratha chiefs. Gaikwads from Baroda, Gujarat, Bhonsles of Nagpur, Maharashtra, Holkars of Indore, Madhya Pradesh, and Sindhias of Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, into a union which came to be known as the Maratha Confederacy. The Peshwa became the head of this confederacy, and this union rose into prominence, and the territories were put under the total control of these Maratha chiefs. So, we can say that Bajirao I is credited with expanding the Maratha Empire in India. The Maratha Empire reached its zenith later on under the reign of Shahu and Bajirao. He was one of the major contributors in expanding over the Indian subcontinent. And in his military career of 20 years, he never lost a single battle. So that's why he was also called the Fighting Peshwa. Now let us read and discuss about Balaji Bajirao. Bajirao I was succeeded by his 18 years son Balaji Bajirao, and Balaji Bajirao became the third Peshwa at the age of 18 after the death of Shahu in 1749. He shifted the capital from Satara to Pune. Satara and Pune are present day in Maharashtra, and Pune's present name is Pune. So after ascending to the throne, Balaji Bajirao shifted his capital from Satara to Pune. During his reign, the Maratha power reached its zenith. Zenith means height. He expanded the Maratha Empire from Attock, Punjab to Cuttack, present-day Odisha, and the Maratha army overtook the whole of India. And after the death of Maratha ruler Shahu, the Peshwas became the official head of Marathas, and they shifted their capital from Satara to Pune. So we can say that under Balaji Bajirao, the Marathas expanded their territories from Delhi and Punjab in the north to Bengal and Odisha in the east and to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu in the south. And there came a time when the Mughal throne was virtually controlled by the Marathas. Balaji Bajirao forced Alai Vardi Khan, the Nawab of Bengal, to surrender Odisha and pay chauth for Bengal and Bihar. That means Alai Vardi was forced by Balaji Bajirao to surrender Odisha and to pay the taxes like chauth and Sardesh Mukhi for Bengal and Bihar. The Nizam of Hyderabad was also forced to cede his territories. Cede means give up. Delhi was captured during his reign. Balaji Bajirao's desire to extend his control to northwest brought him to a direct conflict with Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali. As the Marathas had already expanded their territories towards north, east and south, and now their desire was to expand their territory towards the northwest. But towards the northwest, they had to face the Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali. So both the forces fought the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761. So the Third Battle of Panipat was fought in Panipat, that is in Haryana, and it was fought between the armies of Abdali and Marathas. And the Marathas were defeated in this battle. The Peshwa Balaji Bajirao died of grief due to the ruins of the Maratha army. The Marathas received a crushing defeat. They lost the battle because they had no allies. Allies means partners. But the Afghans were helped by Ela Singh of Patiala, Punjab. Ela Singh was the first Maharaja of princely state of Patiala, and Najib-ud-Dawla of Rohilkhand, that is of Uttar Pradesh, and Sujau-ud-Dawla of Awadh, the present-day Uttar Pradesh. So Afghans were not alone in the battlefield of Panipat. They were helped by the partners, but on the other hand, Balaji Bajirao and the Marathas were having no allies, so they received a crushing defeat. And after the defeat of Panipat, Marathas became very weak. The Maratha Empire broke into pieces and went into the hands of many local clans. Clans means tribes. However, the Peshwa remained the nominal head. Nominal means official. So, in this way, the Marathas' ambition to replace the Mughals was shattered after the defeat in the Battle of Panipat. Now, let us read and discuss the reasons for the decline of Marathas. Decline means downfall. Several reasons led to the downfall of the Marathas. Some of these were lack of unity among the Maratha chiefs. They fought with one another frequently. They often failed to unite for a common cause. Means there were conflicts among the Maratha chiefs for the succession of throne, and the absence of unity among the Marathas remained their weakness. Their policy of expansion also proved fatal. Fatal means failure. They conquered vast territories but could not control them properly. Means the Marathas adopted many policies to expand their empire, and no doubt they conquered huge areas, but they were unable to control them in a proper way. The other reason for the decline of Marathas was the Marathas angered other rulers by raiding their territories. Raiding means attacking. They also compelled these rulers to give Chauth and Sardeshmukhi. Therefore, they couldn't win allies. Allies means partners or supporters. As a result, they stood alone in the third battle of Panipat. Means the other rulers were unhappy with the Marathas because the Marathas compelled the other rulers to give the taxes like Chauth and Sardeshmukhi. Chauth was 1/4 of the land revenue that was collected by the Marathas from the areas beyond their kingdom or empire, and Sardeshmukhi was an additional 1/10 of the land revenue that was collected by Marathas as a tribute. This was the reason that Marathas lost the third battle of Panipat because they had no allies or partners. Lastly, they didn't take any pain to modernize their military and administration. Hence, they couldn't compete with the growing power of the British in India. Means the Marathas didn't take any interest in modernizing their military and administration. And even in the third battle of Panipat, the Marathas possessed mainly just swords and spears. So, because of the lack of the modernized military and administration, they were unable to compete the growing power of the British in India. So, we can conclude that the Marathas became powerful under Shivaji and later under the Peshwas, but the third battle of Panipat, lack of unity among the chiefs, fatal policy of expansion, and no modernization of military and administration were the reasons which led to the decline of Marathas. Now I hope lesson is clear to you, and your today's homework is to learn the lesson and solve the back exercises.